Hello, it's Jay here again and welcome to another tutorial. So in this lesson we're going to pick up exactly where we left off in the last video. And in the last video we'd got the inputs in, we'd also made a start on the player jump. So let's carry that on by coming right at the top and we'll create of type public float. And we need to give this a naming convention of player jump height. And we'll make that equal to 5f. Into the comments. Defines the player's jump height. We'll create of type another public float. And we'll give this a naming convention of underscore player jump speed. And we'll make this equal to 5 as well. Into the comments. Defines player's jump speed. So let's have a look. We've assigned the jump animation. And while we're here, let's create type public floats again. Underscore, and I'm going to give this a naming convention of controller dead zone POS for positive. And we'll make that equal to 0.1f. Let's close that line off. Into the comments. Defines positive controller dead zone. And let's just copy that. We'll paste it in below. We'll change POS to NEG for negative. And we'll change the comment. So let's copy that and we'll come to our void update. And we'll paste it in there. And also here. And for the walk left, we want the negative naming convention. So let's put this into the comments. Dead zone negative value. We'll paste it in here. We'll change that to positive. And then we'll just copy and paste into the last change. So let's come back to the top and we'll need to create some more public variables. So we'll say public float underscore player's gravity, and let's have a think. Let's give this a value of equals 20. Let's close the line off. Into the comments, player gravity strength, public float players, and I'm going to use a gravity modifier. And we'll put this into the comments. Defines gravity modifier value. And public float player's speed y-axis. We'll just close that off. Player's speed within the y-axis. We'll come to the void start. And we want underscore player speed y-axis is going to be equal to 0. Close that line off into the comments. Set player speed on y-axis to 0 on start up. And I'm just using a modifier I'll mention now because it avoids having to deal with large numbers. It can just make things easier to change by using a modifier when it comes to the gravity, I find. So let's come down to the bottom. We'll create of type private void, and we'll give this a naming convention of apply gravity. We'll open and close brackets, we'll open and close again. Let's just copy in debug log, and we'll swap out the naming convention. And let's have a look. So we have one for jump up already where we're calling the animation. For now, let's come to the back to the void update, and we'll just call that function apply gravity. Let's close that line off into the comments, and we'll just put call apply gravity function. So let's come down to the player jump, and what we can actually do is just copy everything from the previous function player walk right, apart from the line where we call the animation. Let's paste that in, and we'll change what needs to be changed. And yes, we are going to have the player be able to jump backwards and forwards, but this is just for jumping straight up for now. So let's get that changed to a 0. So the new vector is 0, 0, 0. We'll change the center one to the player jump speed. And let's go through all of this. We actually don't need to change that much. So we still need to set the move direction. Just notice the typo there. Let's have a look. Player 1 move direction normalized. We want to change this to the jump speed, so let's get that into the comments as well. The collision flags should be able to stay the same, and we'll change this if block, and we'll come to the enum, and we need to give this a naming convention, so I'll just use come down. And let's come to the cases. We'll copy 3 lines from there, and we'll just add a new case for that function. So I'll copy and paste come down into there. Don't worry about the red error. That will be fixed when we actually create the function. So we can now change to that state in this line. And while we're here, let's actually create the private void for that function. Again, I'll copy in the debug log. This should alleviate the red error we had. And we need to change this inside the brackets. So if open brackets and we want the player one transform dot transform dot position dot on the y axis is greater than or equals to, so both symbols, player's jump height. What did I give this a naming convention of? Let's have a look. Oh yes, no S in, that was what was causing the issue. So if player transform is greater than or, in fact I'll put or in the capitals, equal to the jump height, then we'll switch to this function, and this is where we'll have the code that will return the player to the ground. And now for this one, let's come to the apply gravity function. If open and close brackets, player, and I'm just going to say player is grounded, we'll open and close brackets again. And yes, we do have a red error. We're going to fix that by saying creating a new public, but this time of bool, and we'll use that naming convention. We'll open and close brackets, we'll open and close again. So let's come inside, we'll say return open and close brackets, and what we want to return is the underscore collision flags. We're going to say and we want collision flags again, but this time with the capital C dot collided below. We'll come to the end of the line, space does not equal 0, close that line off, into the comments. So we'll say return collision flags. And collision flags are something that's well worth reading up about, but it basically is going to return a bool, which is a true or false value, to tell us if we are actually colliding with the floor. So we have this line here, if player is grounded, into the comments, so if, and I think I'll use the speech marks, and I'll actually copy that function name in, player speed y axis is going to be equal to 0f. We'll say then make player's speed on y axis equal to 0, because if the player is on the ground, it does not require any speed on the y axis. But we'll come to the line below, we'll say else. So in this case, if the player is not grounded, then we'll set the player's speed y axis, and we want minus equal to the actual gravity. So we'll say player gravity, into the comments, minus gravity from vertical speed, and this will give us a negative value because we're starting at 0, but what we want is a negative value because we need the player to come down. If we had a positive value, then it would move the player up, so we need a negative value. This line will give us that, and I'm going to come below and I'm going to say times the player's gravity modifier times time dot delta time, and we'll close that line off. And into the comments, and we'll say and times by modifier, and we'll save that off there. So we've got a lot done in this lesson, and in the next lesson we'll begin work on the come down state, and we'll continue on with the rest of the creation of this script. So as always, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I hope to see you next time, and until then, as always, bye for now.